Okay, it's the Saturday before signing day. Matt DeBary, Dean Legge, Dylan Webber. Dylan's going to join us today, Matt. I don't know what he's going to add.
That sounds good.
I can't add much.
I'm talking about Xavier Truss, who will be signing.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
And the other people you've seen. We just had an hour and a half conversation about things that we can't talk about on the air.
Solid combo.
Yet. This is coming down, it seems like, on signing day to probably 2 people. And that's, it's Saturday, so we don't know what we don't know. Right now, Trey Sanders is on a visit to Florida.
Right.
And then also you've got Nakobe Dean in Mississippi. I don't think he's on a visit.
No, he's got the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game that he's doing this weekend. So you got those 2 guys, and then the quarterback situation, however they're going to figure that out.
Good point. So the quarterback situation is what I would call fluid. We don't know what's going on with Plumlee totally yet.
He's got the blue shirt situation going on. So that
now, does it actually matter if a kid? Now I'm getting deep into the weeds here. Does it actually matter if a kid takes an official visit as it relates to blue shirting and gray shirting? My understanding is it does.
I think you're right. Not 100% on that. But
and we're eating food while we do this, so
chips and queso. There we go.
I'm going to be eating most of the time. Y'all can talk.
So that becomes another interesting dynamic because Plumlee has not taken an official. I think there's some rule as it relates to things as far as that's concerned.
And again, I still think he's better suited just as an overall athlete as opposed to a quarterback. Dylan Gabriel, the quarterback out of Hawaii, is an option. And then
he's at SC this week.
He is at SC this week, and I think that might be the team trending a little bit right now with a few days to go.
I mean, just from my perspective, it just seems like if he wanted, go to a big school and also an opportunity to play, USC would be better.
Right.
Well, they got a young kid there too, though.
Yeah, but he's not nearly as talented as Jake Fromm and Justin Fields.
That's using an assumption, which we are using, that Jake and Justin will still both be here this time next year.
Yeah.
But I definitely think Justin Fields will. Do you think? Talk about Jake Fromm maybe leaving for the draft this time next year. Is that what you're?
No, that's not what I meant. I meant that both of them will be on the roster in 2019. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility at all that Jake Fromm will be gone early. Not anymore. He has really, 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 really played well. His development in the last year has been.
He's a top 5 quarterback in the country.
I didn't see it coming that quick because the way he played as a true freshman at the beginning of the season was adequate. He didn't even throw 10 passes against Tennessee. He didn't throw 10 passes against Florida.
Yeah.
You got to perform. But anyway, back to this is starting to come down to 2 kids, basically. Nakobe Dean and Trey Sanders.
Right. Again, if you're just tuning in, Jaden Hazelwood will be announcing in January, so will Tyreek Stevenson. So Nakobe Dean, Trey Sanders are the 2 big guys to keep an eye out on. Georgia's in the mix for both. There's a lot of information going on between the 2. It looks like Alabama is the team Georgia's fighting off for both of those guys right now. Right. Trey Sanders is on an official visit to Florida this weekend. Obviously, we just said Nakobe Dean is at the All-Star game, so he's done. He's had all of his in-home visits. Kirby Smart was last Monday. Nick Saban last Tuesday.
He said he already knows. Allegedly.
They say that. It could come down to Tuesday night. I believe he'll have a decision before then, but lots of Bama talk here, but I wouldn't rule Kirby Smart out just yet, especially after what we saw Kirby and the staff do last signing day, both in December and February.
So what typically happens, Matt's been doing this now with me for 4 years or 5 years, and before that, my old buddy Chad Simmons would do it, and Chad was with me maybe 10 years or something like whatever it was, and anybody who's in this ball game, and the guys at the other networks, the guys at the networks could tell you too, it's hard to know things before a particular time, and typically the particular time is Sunday night. And "no" is in quotations. So my guess is things will start to break to where people like us know it that late. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know anything right now. I certainly don't feel like I do. But on Sunday night, I will make phone calls to where I think I will have a decent feel for things. I don't know that I'll have a certainty about things.
Well, I will say this has been a little tougher to maybe cover than last year's class. And I think as a group, myself and Dylan and Dean, we kind of nailed signing day last year.
Yeah.
This year is a little tougher.
I would say it's a lot.
Yeah, it is. But Trey Sanders, especially, we didn't really know if Georgia was really in it until he decided to take an official visit to Georgia. He obviously had a really good time, and
that's
so
the question: is this a visit high thing?
And a lot of the times it is. I do think that the talk is real between him and Georgia, but at the same time, I'm still hearing a little bit more Alabama. I had a source tell me yesterday he thinks Georgia's not even in it, but
but you're not.
You hear different things from different sources and all that, but my job is to figure out what stuff is real, what stuff is not, who to trust, who not to trust, and
sometimes the people that you trust and are really good, they don't know.
Right.
And I think the biggest thing about signing day is that if you admit ahead of time that you're not all knowing about things, that goes a long way, because
they're still 18-year-old kids.
Well, and there's 20 of them.
Yeah.
So, sort of getting it right all the time is hard.
Yeah.
Very hard.
Some have a crazy uncle that come to play last minute, and every situation is different. Each kid is looking for a different thing.
People thought last year I was crazy about Quay Walker because I was like, Georgia's in good shape. They're in good shape. They're in good shape. And people are like, no, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, And it turns out that he did go to Georgia. Well, sometimes you don't know things until they break late, obviously, and sometimes you can sort of see the writing on the wall. And sometimes what a kid is saying publicly just doesn't make sense. I mean, to some degree, you have to trust, after doing this for 20 some odd years, you have to trust yourself to know that, is this kid, we've seen all of this before. There's very few situations that are Roquan Smith or Josh Harvey Clemens, or something like that. I mean, Isaiah Crowell, we you could tell where that was going. It wasn't a certainty, but you could tell that was probably Georgia. But we should know, we should have a very good idea by Sunday night. Or a pretty good idea. Of course, you and I, our deadline is 4 o'clock on Tuesday.
Right. We're still figuring out where we will be. I might be going to cover Trey Sanders. Might be at Sports and Social at the Battery. We'll see. Either way, Georgia's going to get, I feel like they're going to get another running back in this class. Not 100%, but I think it's likely they'll either get Trey Sanders or the Plan B option, DJ Williams, who will, another running back from Florida. I don't know if his offer right now is committable or anything like that. I think it's conditional or
contingent.
Contingent
on X.
Trey Sanders. Both are.
Noah Kane, you say, is just, you have a hard time.
I do. I think he was all about the depth chart and wants to play early, and I think he can play early at either Texas or Penn State. But, a lot of people think Texas is kind of involved with Trey Sanders a little bit,
They just lost Neil Carter.
Yeah.
Today or yesterday.
Yeah.
So he's gone.
There are quite a few people, actually, who think Texas is a big threat to Georgia and Alabama and Florida for Trey Sanders. We'll see. I haven't heard a ton, but I know it's out there. But right now, I do not think Noah Kane is super realistic for Georgia right now. I do think it's 5-star Trey Sanders or the Plan B option, DJ Williams, a solid back. He's not Trey Sanders, but I think Georgia would take him in this class if they don't feel like Trey Sanders is going to jump on board.
I'll say this. If Georgia does not get either Kobe Dean or Trey Sanders, it becomes mathematically very difficult for them to be the number 1 class. They might have to get both. Now, you still have Jaden out there. You still have Tyreek Stevenson out there. It just becomes tougher and tougher. Now, had you not gotten Clay Webb, it would have been hard, really hard to pull that off. Because what you got to do, Alabama has a lead. Now, they have more kids, so that's why they have a lead. But you can't lose the kids that it's coming down to.
Yeah.
And that's all there is to it.
Yeah, I know a lot of people, they want that number 1 class and this and that.
It's important. It matters.
It does matter. With that comes expectations, but...
but the expectations here...
They're sky high anyway.
No, they have, and yes. Yeah. It's just a matter of how high in the sky are they.
But if they lose on Sanders and Dean, it's still top 3 class, I think. So another very, very good class, and from now on, they will be contending with Alabama for, the number 1 class year in and year out. Maybe Clemson will jump in there, maybe Ohio State.
Clemson's never signed a number 1 class.
Yeah, I don't know where they're at now. They've got a lot of kids in this class.
This is one of their better classes.
Yeah.
I'll say that for them. But, you know, the one place that has the ability to play ball with Alabama and Georgia, now that Urban Meyer's gone, now that changes the math a lot.
Yeah.
Now that he's gone, Texas A&M, in his first full season, Jimbo has come in and done a really good job.
Really good job. Again, he's bringing in a lot of talent. Did a great job just on the field coaching his first year, and we all know what happens in year 2.
And they're different than Alabama and Georgia because they're, I mean, obviously geographically positioned in a very different way. They can attack Louisiana in a way that Georgia can't.
Right.
They are the number 1 school in Texas, so they can attack Texas.
Dylan's got a mouthful of chips right now, so he decided to throw that in right there.
No, but they can attack Texas. They can attack Louisiana. I guess you could go after kids from Arkansas if you really wanted to.
Yeah, and they can,
You guys okay?
We're okay for now. We'll order in a second.
Thank you.
No problem.
And they can dive into the Midwest too, which is what they've had to do a lot.
is a. I mean, the insane thing is I was watching the new tech coach say that they were a national brand the other day, and I don't know if he meant, and I'm not making fun here. I mean, I don't know if he means academically that they're a national brand. Georgia Tech is about as far from a national brand in football as there is.
That was coach speak. If he's talking about on.
I don't know if we really can say Texas A&M is a national brand.
They're getting there.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean yes.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, is Penn State? Yeah, probably, but it's not always guaranteed. I mean, Ohio State, Alabama, USC, I guess Texas to some degree. There's always going to be these blue bloods. Michigan, no matter if they're bad or not, they're going to be national brands. Georgia is probably in the same ballpark as Texas. If you're not good, you better watch it.
Yeah.
I think if you're Ohio State, you're probably always a national brand. And the Gators have seen, I don't know if the Gators are a brand name, but they, in this current iteration, are not a national brand like Clemson.
Yeah, they've definitely taken a step back.
How long will that last at Clemson? I don't know.
Clemson was not until Dabo got there.
No, they were not until about 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, Dabo spent 5 of his first 6 years losing to South Carolina, which certainly has never been a national brand. So this brand foolishness is another. Look, either you do it or you don't. Texas A&M can has the firepower to compete with Georgia and Alabama. They're just not at that level on the field.
Well, we know Georgia's got the brand because they have gone all over the country for this class to get kids.
When you are getting viewed, when you're getting watched by over 100 million people on television, that's all you need to know. I haven't done the numbers. I've not run the numbers this year for Georgia in television, but all that stuff adds up. Every single thing matters in recruiting.
Yeah.
And how much you play on national television, you don't think Trey Sanders is watching that or Clay Webb? I mean, why did Clay Webb go to Georgia over Alabama?
Sam Pittman.
Okay, so they had one thing that no one else had.
Yeah.
Everything matters.
Everything matters.
If it's Sam Pittman, it's Sam Pittman. If it's so there's always something that matters. And for Georgia, they just got to keep it up. I don't know if they win the Kobe Dean or not. It feels like they have the momentum with Trey Sanders, but that was before he got to Gainesville.
Yeah, and we always see, I'm sure there will be some smoke and rumors about, hey, watch out for Florida. He's coming off, that's the last official visit before he signed. I'm sure they'll have a little bit of momentum. There will be rumors out there. Georgia's absolutely in the mix. I'm not going as far to say they lead for him or Nakobe Dean right now.
Right.
But it's very close. Georgia could get both. They could get none. And that's somewhere we've got to piece together in the next few days.
Okay. Stay tuned on Dawg Post. And this is Dean Legge, Matt DeBary, and
Kind of
Dylan Webber eating chips.
Dylan destroyed that queso.
I'm so hungry.
That cheese dip was really good.
Yeah.
Shut up.
He's very sensitive about cheese dip and queso. That's another discussion for another day. Thanks for listening to Dawg Post. We'll go check out the site, dawgpost.com. There's a link at the bottom.